Hi there, and welcome to our next edition of our Friday Tactics Board with Bazooka Goal. Today we've got Dale Rab. I'll let him introduce himself shortly. And this is a series of weekly chats that we do with people involved in football. So Dale, over to you if you want to give us a quick introduction.
Hey Mike, how you doing? Nice to see you again. As you mentioned, my name is Dale Rab. I live in Manchester, Northwest England, parent and football coach at the same time. Got to know Mike through his 3v3 tournaments and through various other football activities, and I look forward to this discussion.
Cool. No, and say thanks for coming on, Dale. Like I say, we've done this with a few people now, and it's always great to hear different views from all parts of the game. So with a parent's hat on first, we'll look at that, and then we'll look at, like I say, from a coach. And obviously, we can tell from your accent you're not from Manchester.
No, as you can hear, no, not from Manchester, definitely not. Although the Salford accent is starting to trickle in. No, not really. I did only move to England approximately 2 years ago. Prior to that, I lived in Israel and New York. Organized football as a sport, especially on a grassroots level, was very new to me when I came. But I can't stress enough the impact that it's had on my children. I have two boys, 9 years old and 6 years old, both fantastic players. And the social impact that it's had on them, how it's helped them integrate in England has been tremendous. Making sure, I always said that a kid who's good at football has a better chance of being successful at life, because being good at football as a child definitely helps develop social skills, and it helps children socially in school. They become popular kids, they become good kids, therefore they have an easier time academically. And I see it time and time again with both my children and the children that I coach, the impact that football has on education and vice versa as well, which is a tremendous thing to see and a tremendous thing to be part of.
And that's a topic then that we've not discussed on this before, and rarely, we chat and we talk about the technical side and the tactical side, but we always miss out that psychological corner and all the additional benefits it has. Like say and I say you've seen it there, especially then coming from a different country, kids getting to make new friends, so they're not shy, and yes, you've probably seen more than most how that has impacted your two boys, and how great it is. And
it's by far being probably, if I would have to pinpoint, the single most helpful part of our life in England, of integrating into life in England, has been football, and has been grassroots football, and it's just been tremendous. And I mean, you know me from around Mike by now. I try to give back what I've taken from it, because I know what a tremendous tool it can be for children, for parents, for coaches. It's a tremendous all-around tool, and we'll get soon to the 3v3 because that's a very important factor of it as well.
Cool. No, I'm glad, and that's obviously how we first met. And I've seen you around and your boys then play, and now 3v3, especially for one of them, has probably been really helpful to him then. But just from what you're saying there, it just made me and my lad have just been out getting our haircuts, and if you can see, that's why we were late. I had to look good for you today, but he was getting ready to go back to school next week and starting a new year. And we were just talking about last year, obviously with a pandemic, they were in a bit of a bubble, and now he's got to go into that bigger outside world, and how he's going to cope then with these older children then that he's going to see all the time, and that, like I said, that social side. And the conversation we had was, well, these kids from football, and these year 10s from football, and these year 11s from football, and so now he's going into this bigger world. And he had the same when he went into year 7 last year, was the people that he knew through football made him on day one not feel intimidated, not be shy.
He's not a nobody.
Circle. Yeah. So it has that massive impact. And, you say, like, now he's playing outside on his own. And I know what will happen. There'll be other kids that will walk around shortly, and that ball just will bring them together, and they'll just play a game.
Absolutely. But the more important factor of that is the impact that it has on the child's education. When a child is coming into a new school, like your son is, and he's not a stranger. So his mind is not focused on, ooh, who's this? What's he thinking about me? Some pressure and some stresses from all around. His mind is not busy with that. His mind can be freed up to education. His mind can be freed up to learn, as opposed to trying to develop, a social circle, because he's got that. He knows these kids. He's not pressured from it. And that I see as a phenomenal, as really a phenomenal accomplishment of grassroots football, is how much it helps kids in education, because they don't have that social stress. They've relieved the social stress. Perhaps more where I come from, and on my son's teams, they're all in his class. They're basically all in the same school. So you right away, you know everyone, and everyone knows you, which is very, very easy. And but I think everyone has a little bit of an easier time with education when it comes to when they've been playing grassroots football.
No, it does. I say it's a topic then that sometimes gets passed over. But yeah, that social side of it, I've seen it, say, several times now over the years, whether it's with my son or with other players. Yeah, and it's a big impact with it then. So moving on then to the 3v3. So was your first time you used them with me, or did you come across it then when you were in the States or in Israel?
No, it was definitely, the first time was with you. I think it was probably a month after we moved here. I'm talking about September 2019. And I didn't have a formed team yet, and my kids wanted to play. And someone said, check out Mike. He's got that indoor place up in what is it, Middleton or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Middleton back then, and we played there once or twice, and it was great. And later, when you started, with the ear pitches and the bazooka goals and all that, it became, a festival that I look forward to, that my kids look forward to. It's, I use it for my kids as a treat. I usually don't take my teams there. Rather, I take my child and let him choose a few friends, and they choose who to go there with. However, I can't encourage enough teams to go there to work on their teamwork. And I will definitely be doing it going forward. I'd like to be taking my team there week in, week out, to some of these sessions, to some of these games. For the simple reason, and this is, the first thing anyone will say about small-sided football is the amount of time that you have on the ball. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was at one of your tournaments, and there's a new kid who hasn't played on our team before, but a friend of my son, so he decided to bring him along. I've seen him in a couple of training sessions. He's almost scared to get to the ball, definitely scared to come to the ball when someone else is with it. And when he was put on that, small-sided 3v3 pitch, suddenly he's almost forced to come into close contact with the ball and with other people. And the change that you can see in him from the first match to the last one was just tremendous. He actually turned out to be a decent player. Once he gained that confidence to get near the ball and near other people, suddenly, you turn out, yeah, he's got some skills on his feet. He could run, he can make the pass. But to develop that skill we're going into 7-a-side now, would probably take him weeks, if not months, of traditional football, in order to gain that confidence and therefore understand that he has those skills. The other day I saw him, we had a small training match, and lo and behold, he's making tackles. So it's basically football development on steroids, which is why I love it, which is why my kids love it. And it's just all around fantastic.
it was that, and to say something I always say is accelerated development is the posh title I give it. Football on speed is the other one, and then when people ask me what it's all about, but it does that. It does force the players into those situations, and the repetitiveness of it. You know, like say he might have that 1v1 5 times in a game normally. So if he's got to get to 50 attempts before he gets confident, well, let's say that then is just all accelerated in a 3v3 match, and now he's done those number of repetitions in a short space of time. So if you've seen that, and I've seen that with players in the past, just how quickly something just triggers in the head. It's like, all right, I can do this now. I can try this.
Additionally, there's another aspect which connects to this, which I've noticed. Sometimes, you know, you'll have a team, you'll have a couple of strong players, a couple of mediocre players, and you'll have 1 or 2 weak players on a team. Especially in mine, you know, my teams, I'm no academy, I'm no fancy academy. I just have a bunch of misfits.
The Dale Rab Academy, I thought that was going to be the new thing.
I just have a bunch of misfits trying to play some football. And what you notice is that, you know, the weaker kids during a match, they shy away from the ball. They're not looking for it. The reliance on the stronger players is much stronger. Whereas in small-sided games and these 3v3 games, it's impossible to shy away from it. You can't, because the game is constantly coming to you. Wherever you will be on the pitch, the game will come there at some point. You can try to stand in the far corner, the game will be there, and you'll have to get in, and you'll have to get into the ball. And so it's definitely a confidence builder. It definitely helps you develop, you know, your what happens very often in football, which is going to be that rough 1v1. You don't really have the space to run or to make, you know, a nice long pass or something. You have to hold the ball, protect the ball with your body. It teaches you how to use your body, which is something that I constantly try to teach the kids on my teams, which is how to use their body right to protect the ball, how to use their body right to defend. And here you have to do this. You're constantly using your body, using your feet, and it's just all around, you know, football on speed. I like that better than accelerated development.
No,
we're in Manchester, not London.
Yeah. So obviously your 2 boys, and we talk about them then, let's say as players and how they play at 3v3 compared to their traditional, I know, one's 5v5, one's 7v7. So how have you seen that then directly, let's say, impacted on your own children then?
So my older child, who's 9 now, he's generally an all-out striker. Likes to score goals, likes
his dad.
Stay up front. No, he's actually a great player. He scores. You know, I think last season he scored about 60% of our goals. But then again, you know, you're always trying to talk him back into doing some defensive work. 3v3 forces you that defensive work because the entire game is defensive work. Not only that, you know, when I play 3v3, we have this. We play kind of a formation of what I call 1-2. So you'll have, you know, 1 staying a little further back and 2 going forward. Generally, the idea is that when we score a goal, you have to touch your net and go and attack. So the one who's behind will be forward first. So he'll be touching his net first and then running forward so he can start defending from the top. So it teaches. So what they learn here, and then of course another kid is going to be standing behind. So it teaches you a little bit more versatility in your skills and the transition from defense to attack on a very small pitch. And that's by the way, a constant lesson in 3v3 is the transition period. In kids football in 5-a-side and 7-a-side, at least at the level that we play, the transitions are less focused on. You know, we're focused on defend, boot it. And then, okay, we boot it. If we have the ball, okay, so attack. But the transition between defense and attack and defense aren't so focused on because the situations and where those happen are just less common. So you're going to get them less times. So almost every match scenario that you're going to have in a normal 5-a-side or 7-a-side game, you're going to have in the 3-a-side game just many, many, many more of them every match. So over, a 2-hour event, you're going to have by a factor of 10 the amount of training that you would have during a match. And there's no question about it that kids gain from match experience far more than they gain from training. My kids did who knows how many, one-on-one sessions with all kinds of coaches and trainers from around Manchester, and they've been great, really fantastic. But you can't compare a 1-hour one-on-one session to a 1-hour match, how much they get. And you can't compare a 1-hour match to a 1-hour 3v3 match in the level of confidence and learning new skills that they've gotten over that time, being able to employ them in their bigger matches. Now, if you'll ask me, I would go full 3v3, full small-sided, up until a much higher age. I don't think that 7-year-old kids should be playing 6-a-side football. I don't think it's helpful for development. But to take the tools from the small-sided and, those then can be employed in the bigger-sided games.
No, and it is that, I think, we're a long way off in this country. So a lot happens. Hopefully we're working towards it, and more coaches and the academy system uses 3v3 a lot. I know some of our league teams went into Man United last week, and they made their own version of a little air pitch. I said it's not as good as mine. I give them some grief, but they do that, and they've done that for years. 3v3, and we're not the first. We're just hopefully ones who are constantly pushing it forward. So obviously, when you first started and you come and played, or your boys come and played, and we didn't use the air pitch, to now using the air pitch, has that added something different to the game? What are the benefits?
Well, firstly, I can say that it does. It's round, it's colorful, and that makes it fun. You walk into the pitch and you see those ear pitches, it's already fun. It already looks like a festival, because it's already not, okay, another 4G, we're in Munsall again. We're here every week. It's suddenly something different, and something different always turns on in the kids the excitement. Okay, let me go do it. Let me go try. Let me have fun. Which is an aspect that too many of us forget in football, that it's about fun. And you always have music going, which is fantastic. So the ear pitches. Secondly, the ear pitches, what they offer is, we're not focusing anymore on keeping in the lines or throw-ins or kick-ins or any of that. The game stays in the pitch, which just adds so much more game time. The other day I was reading this research about how many minutes of football are actually played in professional football. And it's played something like 58 out of 90 minutes are actually played football, because so much time is spent on throwing, so much time is spent on goal kicks, so much time is spent on free kicks. And here it just keeps going, keeps moving. The ball's not going out of play. Now, to be honest, another thing that I love about 3v3, it's always early bedtimes after that, because they come back out of there just gone. So it's always come home and, an hour in front of the TV and to bed. Being a fitness being the fitness aspect of it, you can't ignore as well. But that's a lot to do with the ear pitches, the continuous game. You can imagine, a regular game that if you wouldn't have the throw-ins and the kick-ins, just, the ball boys throwing the ball into the pitch every time, it would, players would have less time to rest. You would have much more action, and more action equals more experience. And that's what we're all looking for. No,
and that's an easy way without the air pitches, is to have that multi-ball option. And I know some coaches, do that and just have 2 balls under your arms. As soon as it goes out, throw it back in. It changes the dimensions of the game, but it just keeps that constant play going. But I see the air pitches definitely adds that, and then that intensity to the whole game. But your first point there about how it looks, the fun, side of it, and that's, for me, I say I do a lot of competitive football, but doing the 3v3, it's always, let's make this as fun as possible for everyone. And it's not just then the players. I want parents to sit there watching their kids have fun, because I say we do too much where it's not about fun. And the last event, and we'll talk about that, and the sun helped, which was a rare day in Manchester. I say music on, everything just looked like a real, good summer festival feel. And we had loads of games.
Also allowing the parents to walk between the pitches and be much more around the game and much more around each other. You see people socializing much more than you would see in a normal tournament where everyone is standing, in a row because they all want to be in one row. So you've only got two people next to you and you're not really moving around. Whereas in these 3v3s, because of the way that they're set up, it allows people to move around. It allows the kids to move around. And yes, it's, it feels like a festival.
No, and that's definitely my
it looks like down right?
And should we mention, and I think I got this on video somewhere, so some parents actually joining in and wanting to play themselves.
Yes, absolutely. And to be honest, it's not my first experience with 3v3 because I've played some of your, in the Monday game once or twice that you run. And I recommend it to my friends, and I'm not a very good footballer, but I really enjoy the 3v3 because there's something fun about it. There really is. It's a different. It's almost like a different game, utilizing similar skills, but when it comes to grassroots level, developing other skills. When it comes to adults, for me, it's just more fun. You get more time in the ball, you get more action. That's it. When I play 11-a-side football, I don't get much ball time. I'm just not one of those players. I call myself a left winger, so you could stay on the left and hope that the game moves to the right.
No, and it does. Say you've played that, and one of my other friends then who plays and he's played it now virtually every week, and he keeps coming to it. You see, he just loves it, and he can try things, and it's made him a better player in his other games that he plays because he's now. He don't go training, he just plays matches. So now he's playing, let's say, this 3v3 intense matches. His bigger game is just so much easier. So yeah, I think next time we do a festival, I think we'll have to have a parents and coaches section.
Absolutely.
Just so everyone can see, because then the part then that I don't think some parents and coaches realise is just how hard work it actually is. With all the retreat, the constant running, the ball in play, I think once people play it themselves, they'll then realise, just how hard the kids have worked, and that always happens.
Very little walking or standing around, whereas in a normal football, there will be quite a bit of walking or standing around. A defender, when his team's attacking, I should hope for him to be there back and support, but usually, kind of like standing in one place or walking around. Here, there's no such thing. It's a constant sprint. You're sprint. I could imagine that some people would find it hard on knees, maybe more an adult level, not by kids, but it's a tremendous game. It's a tremendous game.
Cool. So we spoke about your oldest lad. So then your youngest lad. So how has it helped him?
His playing style is far more of a defensive player. He's a great player, and he's a little bit more. He's much more built for this 3v3 game. It did definitely help him in his finishing. His finishing is not very good. Okay, he's a great tackle of the ball, fantastic dribbler. His finishing is mediocre at best. The small nets, first of all, the amount of times that he gets to have a shot on target and then score and miss and retry and try something else and try something else. It gives him many more opportunities to utilize his skills. Additionally, it gives him that near ball control, which is something that he loves to work on, and having the ball constantly close to his feet. And 3v3 allows for that. There's even when the ball is bouncing from one side of the air pitch to the other side of the air pitch, you're just 2 steps away from it. So it gives you so much time on the ball, and so many repetitions of things that you'll try. I always tell my players, and particularly my kids, I always tell them, in football, one thing I want to see you doing, I want to see you trying. If you think that you can score a bicycle kick today, then dude, try it. If you won't try, you'll never manage. If you think you can, dribble past 4 players, go try it. Maybe some of your other players will be angry at you, but try it. And especially the weaker players, I keep telling them to try. And this allows you to try things over and over and over again and learn from your mistakes. And it's also a quicker retreat. So if you lose the ball, you can win the ball back. And like we said, it's fast forward football. It's just doing what you would do on a football pitch, but so many more times in such a short period of time, which is tremendous.
So I remember actually you come to the tournament that we did back in April, and then obviously you've been to the last few festivals, and I know the answer because we've spoke about this, but obviously the difference between the competitive tournament format where it's just about who can score the most goals compared to the festival where we now say we encourage the skills, we give points for team play, we give points for parents and coaches, attitudes on the side of the pitch, and then we pick, like say, plays of the day based on individual skills. What's your opinion then on how we changed the format then?
Okay, so it's an interesting question because and I ask it to myself very often, and the reason that I ask it to myself is because, like I said, I have 2 kids. My older one's team is from the weaker teams in their division. They're not very good, whereas my younger kids' team is fantastic. Every match they go to, they crush it. Every tournament they go to, they win trophies. And I always question whether developing, that super competitive spirit by kids at a young age is smart or not. Should I encourage that competitive spirit or not? Am I encouraging winning or am I encouraging development? And there's something to be said about both. There's something to be said about encouraging competition. Because we live in a rat race world. And if, you're not going to have the competitive spirit from a young age, you're not going to have it when you're 20 and 30. And the competitive spirit is an important part of life as an adult. On the other hand, for every kid that won for every, team that wins a trophy, there's 10 others who didn't. So I know my kid. So when I told you, when I usually do this as a prize for my kids, say, these 3v3 festivals, and I let them choose friends. And it's always a question, okay, do I invite my 3 best friends or do I invite the 3 best players I know? So when you have a competitive event like we had back then in when was it, February, March? I don't remember.
March, yeah, it might be March, yeah. Just allowed out a lockdown.
We had that when they were like 3,500 goals in that one day. Yeah. So he chose his best friends. They're not very good. They're not very good footballers, but he chose his best friends, and they enjoyed it together. They were disappointed not to do well. They were disappointed not to do well. Now in this tournament here, in this event that we had, this last event, which was more of a festival, they definitely enjoyed it more. They came back, with smiles on their faces, even though, again, my younger kid took home the trophies of team of the day and another team of the day. And I don't know, one kid came on with 3 trophies, another one came on with 1 in a festival type event. But nevertheless, the lack of competitiveness, and, they played against different ages, older kids and younger kids. And it was more fun. It was more of a festival type of event. I do still believe in having competitive events, even losing them. I do have a philosophy that says that participating in competitive events will encourage the competitive spirit in you as well. It's not just about not winning them. Winning a competition is not the only way to develop a competitive spirit. And football is a great place to have a competitive spirit because, you see, for people who are competitive, the problem is that is that it very often comes on the expense of teamwork. And I'm not talking about football now. I'm talking about, general competitive spirit. A person will say, I'm going to go do that. I will do it. Whereas in having competitive spirit in football, especially in any team sport, allows for both developing the individual competitiveness and as well working in a team and understanding how a team is bigger than just a sum of its parts. So there's definitely what to be said for it, for both things. I think that there is more room in football for fun as opposed to competitiveness, and the festivals offer that. But there needs to be some competitiveness as well. So
no, it is. I don't think
I like the balance between the two.
Yeah, it's not. You don't have to have one without the other. There is a balance, and I said there's enough, especially in Manchester. There's enough competitive tournaments and competitive leagues around. So I think we fill a big void with that fun festival kind. But I get, even when you watch the games, kids who've got that competitive edge, they always want to win the game. They always want to do the best. You rarely see them coming off just going, oh, that was too easy. It was there's always, especially if we get the levels right and mix it up and give them different challenges. And that's a few other ideas that we've got for some of the next festivals.
There's also so many goals happen. There's so many goals happen, at least in these kids' game. These 8-minute games, finish 7-5 or whatnot. There isn't enough time to be discouraged. Sometimes in a football game, you'll be 3-0 behind at halftime. The kids are coming off the pitch with their heads down, with very discouraged. Here, there's no time for discouragement because it's constant action. So they score, so you score another one. You could be 3 or 4 behind and not even realize it because that, okay, it's just 3-4 seconds until I score a goal. I might just score a goal, which is also nice because the kids work hard the entire game. And when they walk off the pitch to the end of the game, regardless of the score, they're holding their heads high because they worked hard. And kids, sometimes, at least I used to underestimate my kids, how much they appreciate their own hard work and not just results. And here you see it because they know their hard work and they love it. They love the hard work. And the score doesn't really matter, especially not in a festival event.
Yeah, no. And they forget it's that fast. It's hard for the referees to keep scoring, and that's their job. So the kids try to keep score. Some always do. Some always tell you.
In this festival, the referees were barely keeping score.
Yeah, and I tell them, say, don't do that. It's not what we're looking at. It's everything else you're there to do. But no, it's just that. It's having a real fun element. And now as we move into winter, we'll move some of the festivals indoor, which will add a different element, even faster games, and doing like the futsal version of it then. So Dale, I thank you for your time. I say that's been some real good insights actually on how you've seen the game and through your eyes as a parent and how you look at it for the development of your kids. So you can the kids should be proud of how much effort the dad puts into their sport. And I say I'm sure they'll have a good season. And I'll see him around. So this is a final thought. So we're going to do this final thought now. I've not asked anyone before. I didn't prep you for this. It might be a bit of a tough one. But your all-time best 3v3 team, who would it be? So who would be your 3v3 team from any time, any era? You can pick your best 3.
It's actually quite an easy question for me to answer. It would probably be Maradona, Gascoigne, and Rooney. And I'll explain. All 3 players, one of the most important things in 3v3 is keeping the ball close. So these are the close dribblers. Maybe I would put Messi. I don't know if I would put Messi in there. Perhaps. I think Messi would probably be a very good 3v3 player. But there's something about dribbling with the ball close to your body, having very close control. As well as being able to defend and attack at the same time, which is something that I always liked about Rooney. His ability to defend from attack was fantastic. same goes with Maradona. Maradona less so, but Maradona had, that tremendous close, keeping the ball close to his body, had that tremendous skill. And Gascoigne had that defensive fieriness. You know how many tackles you have to make in such a match, but you have to be a good attacker. Usually the tacklers will be the defensive players. Here you have attacking players who need to know how to put in a tackle, and that was definitely Gascoigne. So that's my team.
No, there you go. I can see you thought about that already, because that was too quick. So actually, a great team, and we're gonna build these teams up, and we might have some kind of competition once we've got a few of these teams in. So thanks again, Dale. Good luck with your team for the rest of the season, and hopefully see you at some.
And thank you, Mike. And thank you, Mike. It's not just you; it's everyone who's involved in this grassroots football. It's tremendously rewarding on a personal level, but so much work goes into it. This is far below minimum salary. What the amount of hours and what people make from it, and it's a tremendous help for the community and the children. I really can't stress enough how much it's done for my kids and how much it does for the community at large. And you're definitely one of the people who are on top of it in Manchester or around the Northwest, to bring that to people and to bring it to the community. So thank you, Mike.
I'm blushing now. I'm blushing. Thank you for kind words. No, I do it because I say I love it. It's my job, and it's great to see these kids develop, and that's my main priority. Then is seeing these players, no matter what level that they are at, is them getting better and enjoying it. Making friends. So, and we do as well, coaches. We all get to know each other. Now my lad goes, Dad, why do you know so many people when we're in town or out shopping? He's like, yeah,
we're all football coaches.
It's just I don't meet anyone else if you know you from football. Oh, that's it.
Manchester, and I just couldn't understand the accent of most people. I would go to a store and I wouldn't know what the guy's saying. We're speaking the same language, but I don't understand anything he's saying. But somehow, these football, you hear so many people talking and talking and talking. You're constantly talking to people, from different areas. And suddenly, I have an easy time understanding even people from Liverpool, which is, not easy. So yeah, it's been great for me as well. So it's tremendous. So thank you, Mike. And thank you for everything.
Cheers, Dale. Thanks for your time. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Take care now.